Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Sorry for the delay. We've had loads of technical issues. Apple, we can't get the Apple to work, but we're there. We've finally got it. 15 minutes wasn't too bad. How's everybody's day been? What have you guys been up to? I can't see the comments, so just give me a second. Now I'm there. I'll be able to see. So everyone been busy back at work or still at home? Let us know. So tonight is our last live night for a couple of weeks. We've got some pre-records to come for the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm having to take a couple of weeks off with my voice, so I will still be premiering those shows like normal on our normal Thursday night, but you can still comment and I can still chat back to you. We'll be able to reply and you'll still get to see some new music and some different artists as the next couple of weeks roll on. So make sure you tune in and say hello and head over and order those people's songs as they come up. Tonight we've got Ian Burns joining us. He's got a new single that's coming out that we're going to have a chat about, so we might welcome him into the room. Hi.
Hello everybody.
How you doing? We made you work for this, didn't we?
I think I challenged myself by not being good at anything technical. Doesn't help.
This COVID experience has certainly taught us some skills in the technology department we didn't know we have.
Yeah. It's a bit like that, isn't it? I've done so many Zoom meetings and everything lately. Before COVID, didn't even know what Zoom meeting was.
No, exactly. I know that you work with horses. You're a horse chiropractor. Has that meant that you haven't been able to work and do your normal work as well?
It's been up and down, but I've been working. So I'm one of the lucky ones, really. So initially, when there was that real panic at the start, work just dropped down to zero, and I needed to see what I was going to be allowed to do, of course, with all the social distancing. And then it became apparent that I was going to be, as long as I followed procedures, that I was going to be able to work. And then once the government encouraged exercise, that meant that a lot of my clients were actually able to ride their horses. So then, thank the Lord, they needed me to. So, yeah, it's been good. Yeah,
that's
compared to a lot of poor people that are suffering very much, we've been okay.
Yeah, it's been a hard time for a lot, I think. I think even for those of us that have been working, we have been sitting, you go to work and you feel guilty because you're going to work because so many of your friends are out of work. It's hard on both sides of it's really awful. I think everybody's got that feeling where, it's just that uneasy.
Definitely. Yeah, both of my kids have moved back home because they weren't allowed to work. Yeah, Timothy was in between jobs and my daughter's a makeup artist. So, of course, that was gone. Yeah.
No more. So, is she back to work now?
Yeah. It's just starting all back up now. Yeah. So I mean, we've been very lucky in this country, really, haven't we? Because compared to other countries,
absolutely. We can't complain. We're getting there, and we've backed each other, which is even better. So, you've come along tonight. You've got some exciting news. You've got a new single coming out on Monday, and I have heard it and I love it. So I think it's fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Beck. Beck is actually, I think she's going to put them on the screen. I don't want to press. Oh, no, she's not. I've got it. She's popped up the smart link to pre-order your single. So, you guys.
Good, isn't she?
Fantastic. She's down there with it. Blue wine makes her go crazy. She's just it just goes crazy. She's so good.
I still want to know what made that wine go blue in the first place.
We'll wait till she drinks it. Then we'll tell her.
Yeah, that's right. See, mine's red.
I'm really exciting. I'm being good for another week. I've got a week of being good. It's really hard.
I've never seen someone have a schooner glass full of gin or vodka before. That's amazing.
That's right. Yes. By the end of this, watch how well I talk.
Yeah, that's right. I feel right.
My house will be wobbling again. Tell us a little bit about your single. I know that you wrote this before COVID, but I think I think it fits in as well with the times that we're going through. I think it has messages that you can take from so many different things. But tell us, when did you write it?
Thank you. Thank you. I started writing it toward the end of last year, and it initially started as a very personal thing. And then and then I kind of worked on it there, and then of course that was at the end of the drought. So I could see, depending on what was happening, it kind of worked there as well. But I really needed some other perspective on it. So I went down to a writer's retreat down at Carter and Carter's down in Victoria. And while I was there, I met a lovely lady called Mary Harrison, and I also wrote with David Carter. And funny enough, after a couple of red wines one night, I pulled that song out, and it was I'd done a lot on it, but I really wanted someone else's point of view. So we started playing around with it, and the song grew from there. And then just by default, of course, so from a personal thing to drought, and then the worst bushfires on the East Coast in history, and then COVID. So and what I discovered as I was going through the process of making this song was everybody's fighting a battle. It could be a health issue. You've touched on that yourself, but I know so many people that are fighting health issues at the moment, and many other things. So everybody is fighting their own battle, and you don't know that until you start talking with people. And so the song became more relevant because what I hoped and what I think could be happening is people are seeing something personal within the song, and that, as a songwriter, I'm over the moon about that, because that's all you wish for. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it definitely connects. And I think it's one of those songs, some songs you hear and you think, oh, that'll date, and you won't, in a couple of years you won't hear that song again, or, it's not one of those ones. But this song is one that I think you will hear, because it will always relate to something. There will always be something that you'll be able to relate to.
I really hope so. Yeah. And I recorded it with Simon Johnson on the Central Coast. So, I was really lucky there too, because Simon's amazing. And, I've got Duncan Toombs on guitar and things like that. So, he goes okay.
You can't get much better in Australia, can you? No. Natalie has just popped in and said hello.
Hello, Natalie. How are you?
It's one of those things. So I don't know how. So you finished running the school. You went to the retreat. How did you get this recorded just before COVID? Were you just in time to get it all done? How did you manage?
Yeah, so I came back from the retreat and I was pumped. So I rang Simon and we started on the early stages of the song in November, and then of course Christmas and the Country Music Festival and everything, and I did a couple of shows with Simon up there. And we were already actually singing it at his showcase before the song was even finished. And so when we got back, I rang him and said, how about we jump on this and finish it? And in the end, we just finished it before COVID started. So it was great because, we chatted afterwards, and he had shut his studio down, again, particularly in those early stages. Yes. Yeah, so I was really lucky. They were so close to being finished, and I said, mate, can we please beg? Yeah. I'm not above begging, so I begged.
Why not?
Whatever gets the job done.
Well, if you want chocolate or wine, I'll beg for that. It's fine. If you want something bad enough,
exactly. Yes. Yeah, so here we are. So it's not off my previous album either. It was something I was really passionate about making now. And so it's off upcoming work rather than the previous album. Yeah.
I was going to say to you is, and obviously releasing now, have you specifically chosen this time, or it just happened to fall as well? Have you, once you'd finished recording it, we went into lockdown and all these crazy things happened, did you think, I'll stop it until after this, or did you think, no, it's now we're starting to come out, it's the time to release?
Yeah, there was lots of things. There always kind of is lots of things. There's I really wanted this song to come out. It it became more relevant with COVID. So there was that. There definitely was that. I also, mind you, there's been a massive influx of new music out at the moment. So I wasn't the only person that had that idea. And it was just the timing, the placement within the year where I was hoping to have it initially. So even before COVID came along, I was really hoping to have it out about this time. And so it also came up that I didn't really find a reason not to bring it out now. So yeah, I thought, let's just continue with that. And Duncan, beautiful Duncan's also doing the video. So I spoke to Duncan and he said, yeah, he was ready to start doing video work as well. So that's now happening in the background. So hopefully that'll be ready very soon. And so it was also about waiting till he could also start doing projects as well.
Yeah. And now that you've got your, is that going to be out fairly soon? Is that you're going to aim to have that out as soon as you can?
The video?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that begging stuff I was telling you about before? Yeah. I'm back doing it again. Again, everything's in the can, as it were, and it's just a matter of, crossing the T's and dotting the I's now. But I really hope it's out soon. Yeah. Yeah. But honestly, that's out of my control a little bit.
Yes, yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure that you'll pop it up on your Facebook page when it is done, or yours.
I promise you I will.
Excellent. Now, Becca's already, I was going to ask where we can get this, pre-order this song, because it is out on the 15th. So if we've popped the links up, the smart URL, that should take you through to all the places that you can order your Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, I don't know, whatever there's.
Would be fantastic. I would greatly appreciate it. Yes, thank you.
It is 100% worth it. You have to jump over and buy it. I promise you, you won't regret it. Tell us a little bit about where we can find you in general. Do you post mostly on Facebook? What's the best platform to watch to learn about you and your other music?
Probably Facebook. I do a little bit on Instagram, but I'm definitely not an Instagram aficionado. Facebook's still my thing, and I've got I've got the music page, but I also have my private page, and I'm happy for people to come on my private page. It's just, they can see how crazy my life is, jumping in between horses and music, and it's a madhouse permanently. And they can just kind of touch base with how crazy it is. But Facebook's the way to go. It's Ian Burns Music. Ian Burns Music, and most things will find its way.
Well, jump over there and like the page. And I guess I mean, Ian Burns, you've been around everywhere you go. You go to Tamworth, you hear Ian Burns, you go to festivals. We all know of you. So what's made you stay with music and continue? Obviously, you've got another career. Why music? Why are you staying with music?
It's something I'm very passionate about, and to be silly about it, I guess, is I can't turn it off. And I know that sounds really silly, and hopefully there's a lot of songwriters out there that understand what I'm just about to say, and that is that as soon as I get a time where my mind can just switch off for a little while, I'm immediately getting song ideas. So that could be a long drive, that could be in the shower, that could be out on the tractor, it could be anywhere, but it's something where I'm very lucky that I do get ideas, and then I really want to build on those. So I love the idea of creating a song. And I really, really enjoy that. And I think if I tried to shut that off, my head would explode. Yeah, I just love it. I really love it. It was funny. I was doing, I've got a song out off a previous album, and it's about depression, and it's called Want to Sing, but there's a line in it, will I want to cry or will I want to sing? And it's how every day changes so much, for someone who's with depression. And I was playing a little gig with for the Tamworth Songwriters Association for Hats Off. We were up in the mountains the other day recording a gig. And my mate Paulie Greerson was there from Simply Bushed. And Paulie said, I don't think you'll cry, but you like to sing, don't you? And it was funny because it's actually a valid question, and I do. I just like to sing. And so between the songwriting and liking the sound, hearing my own voice, it's kind of a combo.
Did you grow up with different music influencing you, or have you always just been around the country genre?
No, lots of different music. When I was a young fella, my dad and mum came from England to Australia, and so my dad wanted to be this with a very strong English accent, wanted to be a proud Australian. So he drove everywhere on these long holidays in the old Holden, and he played his music over and over and over again. But where I was lucky was some of those things were like Creedence Clearwater Revival, the Eagles, Johnny Cash, was stuff that as a child I was hearing for hours and hours over. Play the same tape over and over again. And but that gave me this real love of country music. And then because of my vintage, and I grew up in the 80s, the Australian music scene in the late 80s was amazing. It was just all those bands that so many people would have heard of, even my kids' generation, your In Excesses, your Midnight Oils, your Cold Chisels and all that, were just playing at local venues all the time. So I saw live music probably 3 nights a week. And it was just an incredible time for Australian music, the Angels and Mondo Rock and just so many. You could see In Excess at a pub, like it was just incredible. And so Australian music was a major influence on me.
Yes.
And then, and I guess funny enough, as my kids were growing up and we shared an iTunes account, I also got exposed to everything from, R&B to everything. So, and I like that. I love a broad mix of music. So, yeah, that was a very long-winded answer. Sorry. But, yeah.
It's how I like to hear, because I think when I was growing up, obviously I grew up around country music. Country music was just everywhere in my life, but now we don't have genres anymore. So I love hearing other people's stories. That's changed over the years. You used to listen to one type of music, usually because you had a tape or a record, and that was all you put on. So you have the other mix coming in. But now I hear everyone's stories, and it's interesting to see how well it's influenced the music that they're releasing now. So it's great answer.
Funny, isn't it? It's funny times, I was listening to a radio station the other day as I was driving. I drive long distances, and so I was driving home, and they did a flashback top 10. And look, I can't tell you what year it was, but it was like from the late 70s. And the thing is, what I found amazing is that 6 or 7 songs out of that top 10 were actually what you and I would call country. Yeah. But in those days, it was still considered mainstream. And so it was amazing how much country got played on normal radio back then, as opposed to, as you said, then it kind of got chopped up into genres, and now those genres are blending again. Which I like.
Me too.
I like it all.
I love it because you can go to a show and you can get everything. And so it used to be, I'm not going to that concert with you because that's country or that's that. But now you go to a concert and you get it all. So you can, it's just great.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I really enjoy it. Yeah.
Cool,
I know, you've got your traditionalists and everything, and I get that. That's okay. Everyone's very passionate about their music. And I know, you've kind of got your traditionalists that go, oh, what's going on? But I think there's room for all of it. And depending on your mood, whether you're throwing on modern country, pop country, or whether you want to jump back onto some old stuff, my mood's changed that much musically that I love to hear it all. And,
Me too,
and absolutely. I know, a lot of people have it.
Oh, mine's the same. You can get in my car and hear an old song that was, a Slim Dusty song from the 70s, or you can hear something from today, and it can jump from one to the other, and you can't follow it. It's not something you would go, well, that'd be on that mix of an album. It just randomly goes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, absolutely. I reckon if someone went through my music that I like to listen to, they'd be going, whoa, man, what's that?
That's what we like. Scrambled heads.
Yeah, I like the lot. Yes.
Right. And have your children taken down any music? Have you passed on this to your children?
No, not yet. They both have pretty good voices. Em's got a beautiful voice, but not a lot of confidence in the musical area. And Tim's all right too. But it's funny, he thinks he doesn't have a good voice, but he actually has a good voice. He just maybe in time, he loves country music though too. He was funny when he'd have the boom, boom, boom coming out of his car down the road, and you'd think, oh, what is he playing? Expecting to be, for one another term, doof music. And it'd be Lee Kernaghan or Slim Dusty just banging out so loud you could hear him for about the last 500 metres before he got home.
Yeah, I can relate. Yeah. I'm definitely like that. I'm pretty sure that's why I have bad hearing. It was Slim Dusty that damaged my hearing when I was driving it. So.
You've got a lot to answer to, Slim.
So tell us, I know obviously your year's been really messed up, but what is, if we can all go back to normal as soon as possible, what have you got planned for the rest of the year as things start to go back to normal? Have you got
I mean, I'd love to be playing gigs. That would be, I'd love for that to happen. But release this song and hopefully follow that up with whatever we are allowed to do. And then we started back with band rehearsals last night. So we're anticipating they're going to let us free at some point. And then I've got a couple of tentative bookings that we're still holding on to that we hope won't get cancelled. So that'll involve we've got some gigs in Tassie and a few others around the place. And I'm moving. Sorry?
It's been a while since I've seen you down here, actually. I think, is it nearly 2 years in November, I think.
Since where? Sorry, Danny. My silly internet still cutting in and out.
You played down in Tassie. I think the last time I saw you down here was 2 years in November, I think. Might be wrong.
Yes. Yeah, I did open for we did a Simply Bushed big festival down there. We played there, and also we played. We opened for Adam Brand at a gig out at there. Sorry,
was that the Longley gig or the fourth? Was it the Longley gig that you opened for Adam? I can't remember.
No, it was. Look, as soon as I stop thinking about it, I'll get it in my head.
I don't know. I can't remember where it was. It was such a big.
It was a packed house. That just went off, that one. So we're really keen to go back. So hopefully that's the end of October. And I'm moving more into more band gigs rather than solo gigs. So hence the rehearsals, whole new lineup. 5-piece, so we're going to make a lot of noise and some fantastic players.
Fantastic. Think Again in that set. Have you got Think Again in that set? Excellent.
Yep. Yeah, we played that just last night. Had a blast.
Excellent.
I'm very excited about the end of the year, actually. Just with new things and the band and just how good they are. They're tight as. It's really good. Yeah. So I'm very excited.
Cannot wait.
And then Blue Strike will be Tamworth.
Yes, Tamworth. I can't believe that's only 6 months away. And actually, that was the last time I saw you live was Tamworth, and I think it was the People's Choice Awards. I think that was the last time I saw you.
That was a fun night.
Budgie feels like a long time ago.
Doesn't it? Yeah. It does. That is another one. You can say the same going backwards, blink twice, and here we are. But so much has happened, hasn't it, since then?
It has. And I don't think, a lot of us haven't been to many gigs since then. It's just it all started happening. Actually, it was all starting overseas when we were in Tamworth. Like we're only just starting to hear everything. And we're in Tamworth and we're having fun and come back. And thank goodness we got Tamworth in.
Absolutely. Yep. And it rained.
And it wasn't the hottest Tamworth. Even better.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, we had a great Tamworth. Boy, oh boy, we had fun. And then to come back to, we had all these grand plans, of course. Everybody in Australia did. You know, we had all these grand plans and gone.
That's all right, because at the end of the year, I think we'll all appreciate it and have more fun. But you were telling us a bit earlier you were recording for the Hats Off Festival, so you're participating in that this year, the online festival. How's that all going ahead? Are you excited for that one?
I am very excited for that, and I've seen a little snippet of what we've done, so now I'm even more excited. And what we wanted to do in our particular case, so that was for the Tamworth Songwriters Association, and they wanted us to do a songwriter in the round. And so what we decided was myself and Paulie and Chris from Simply Bushed and Ben Ransom went up to the studios in Katoomba, and we literally did it as if we were live in front of an audience, doing a songwriter in the round with explaining, you know, just briefly why we did the songs, absolutely giving each other hell in the meantime, just exactly as we would have in a live circumstance. And now that's been recorded, and that'll be played during the festival. I was just speaking to Cheryl Brown today, and that'll be going out live. I'm not sure exactly when it's on, but I'm really over the moon with how it came out, because it looks exactly like we filmed it, and that is, it was real. There was no practices, there was nothing. You know, if there was mistakes, there was mistakes, and if there was silly statements, there was silly statements, and they're all still in there.
I can imagine with the three of those with you, there would have been a lot of silly statements.
Yeah, there was a lot. We did have fun, but it's kind of our rule too. And I know Simply Bushed as well. Look, the whole idea we're doing this is to make music, and hopefully people like our music. We really try, but also to have fun. And so, you know, whenever we get together, shenanigans will be had.
Oh yes. I can only imagine the group of you together is. Well, I did see you guys together in Kempton a couple of years ago, and it was a very entertaining night.
Kempton, that's where it was.
Yeah,
thank you.
So many places. I can't wait. So do get the confirmation that your gigs can go ahead. People can find all them on your Facebook page as well. Excellent.
Absolutely. Yep, and I do have a website as well, ianburnsmusic.com, that is all being upgraded now, or updated, I should say, purely off the back of the new song. So I've had to not be slack and had to I'm upgrading everything now. So that everything will be better.
Perfect. We've all had the time to upgrade things and update, so it's good. Everyone's webpage will be up to speed. Thank you so much for joining. Before we go, though, again, everybody, the smart URL is in the comments, so jump on and pre-order from whatever platform you're on, because Ian's Song Think Again is coming out on Monday, and if you pre-order it, it will be sitting there waiting for you when you wake up. So
thank you.
Jump in. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm glad we finally got
you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we weren't stressed at all. You weren't stressed. I was.
Where Yamine's going, I'm sorry. I'm like, we'll be right. We'll figure it out. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
I'm on the audio and you're on the wine, and I'm not.
Yeah, that's right. That wine's going to be changed, swapped to a bourbon any second.
Fine.
Thank you, Sam.
That's what we love about it. Country Kickback is definitely live, because the things that go wrong on this show.
I love that. It's real.
It is, exactly. Yeah, honestly, people, you could not make up some of the things that go wrong. Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, I will see you again in probably about 3 weeks' time. But in the meantime, we'll have pre-recorded shows each week for you, and I will be in the comments waiting to hear from you. So please jump on and watch and order any of the artists that we've got coming up, because we've got some great songs coming out. But thank you again for joining us, Ian, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
See you guys.